Hello. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like people already were looking at you and judging you? Before you even said a word, just walked in, minding your business, but you're feeling people are checking me out. What's happening? Has that ever happened to you? Now, that's exactly the moment that Queen Esther realized that she needed to be prepared for that moment. When she entered in that room, she knew for a fact that her preparation would all pay off. Lucky for her, she had prepared. And I'm going to share that story just in a very short while. Here's a powerful truth. 55% of first impressions are formed within just 7 seconds. Within 7 seconds, you enter in a room, a perception has been formed. Negative or positive, either way, a perception has been formed. So the thing is, most people trust you and they want to do business with people they trust and they like. So if I enter in a room and people feel they don't like me for whatever reason, it's hard to sign that deal for me. It's hard to negotiate with them. It's hard because people are just people. And the hard part about it, or rather the sad story about it, is people don't tell you that you missed that deal. They don't tell you they don't like you. They just allow you to go around with go on with your pitch, tell your story, and that is just that. Now, welcome to Off Mute with Becky, where we talk about showing up. And not just showing up, we show up with presence, with confidence, and with impact. And today, we want to talk about how 7 seconds shape that perception. As I said earlier, I'm going to start the story of Esther. How did Esther move from ordinary to extraordinary? Now, here's the story. Esther was just a nice young girl. She had good character, and she had apparently a good figure. I don't know what that means, because depending on where you are, that can be seen differently. But that was Esther. She had good character, ordinary girl. I keep thinking of her wearing flip-flops, just walking down the street, going to the shop to buy whatever, to go to the groceries, get some potatoes. Just an ordinary girl. But she had good character and she was naturally beautiful. So there was a call from the king. And the king was looking for a wife, another wife. If you read the story, you'll hear there was a wife before that, but character issues were spotted, and now the king was advised, get another girl. Get a fresh one this time, one who is not so exposed. So there was a hunt. And again, Esther had, by that time she was still Hadassah. She was not Esther yet. So Hadassah had her uncle who used to work at the king's palace, and his name was Mordecai. And I like to see him as her mentor. So he came and told Esther, you know what? You need to go and compete for that role. They're looking for a queen. And when I look at you, you have the qualities of a queen. You have character, you have beauty, but there's still some work to be done. But do not worry. When you get there, there's a lot of preparation that will be done. And so Esther, knowing that she trusted her uncle, who was also her mentor, was like, you know what? I am ready. You just tell me what you need me to do. And so she went there, she was taken there, and she joined other very many ladies, same age, pretty ladies, because they had really hunted for pretty ladies. The king was very specific about the beauty that he was looking for. And so they went hunting for girls all over. And so all these girls were brought to the king. But before going to the king, they had some work to be done. Preparation had to be done. They were not just going straight to the king's palace and just showing up and, doing that walk and just, doing their thing. No, they needed some preparation. And this preparation was precisely supposed to take 12 months. For you people who keep complaining that you go into the salon, it takes you 3 hours. Now, these ladies needed to get prepared for 12 months. In those 12 months, A lot of rituals were done on these girls. Remember, these girls have never seen anything like this before. They had never experienced this, but it had to be done. Part of the preparation was to look presentable, be presentable before the king. And so presentable had standards. It wasn't just doing your Aramis or your Vaseline and you just walk in and you look nice and you smile. No. The preparation was thorough. There were standards that were observed. There was a lot of, I believe, facials and skin care that had to be observed, a lot of nutrition and wellness, a lot of deep hydration rituals, just to ensure that everything was ready. Another 6 months, they were doing the perfumes and cosmetics, fine fragrances, signature scents, just to make sure that they smelled nice as they entered the room. That was done on them. Right? Body scrubbing, top to bottom. The works, massaging, making sure they're, flexible and looking nice and feeling nice. And all that was done for them. They had to learn poise. They had to learn confidence. They had to learn how to walk. I can imagine you were just walking with flip-flops. And then here you have these 6 inches of high heels. And you have to walk in them and really work them out. These ladies had to be taught to do that. They were taught the poise. They were taught how to lift their shoulders high and have their heads high. They were taught all that. They were taught how to smile. Something as simple as smiling that we mostly forget. They had to smile right, not too much, not too little. Because you don't want to upset the king. Because if the king does not agree with you or is upset for whatever reason, you might just be hanged. You might just die. It was a bit too much. It just was a bit too strict. But that was in that day. That will happen. These ladies had to have a thorough check on their wardrobes. They had to be given wardrobes that were aligned with what the king needed to see. They had to have outfits that aligned with the role of a queen. You can't just say to me, I'm comfortable with my jeans. I like my ragged. It wasn't I like this or I like that. You had to be dressed an outfit that aligned with that position of a queen. And so that is what Esther went through with the other ladies. By that time, I still remind myself, she was still Hadassah, not it Queen Esther. And so she went through all that for 12 good months. What she ate, it had to be measured. It had to be enough. The protein, calories, whatever. It had to just be right. And somebody was checking on her 24 hours, making sure she sleeps right, takes enough water, and all that. And of course, even supplementing. I'm imagining, right? So the preparation was the story. For Hadassah, preparation was not a season that was wasted. It was necessary for her if she needed to get at least a glimpse of that space as a queen. And so Hadassah did what she needed to do. Or rather, they did on her what needed to be done on her. Because I believe she didn't even know about makeup routines. She didn't know about scrubbing her face. She didn't know about facials and all that. But they did all this for her. She just gave herself to be prepared. And so this preparation was done until now. It was her turn to go and get seen by the king. It was her turn to walk down that red carpet. And the king and his guys were there watching. Imagine the pressure. Imagine the thought of the people checking me out, and they might just decide I'm not good enough, or I'm this or I'm that. But regardless, what Esther did lifted her head. The preparation she had gone through for the 12 months gave her confidence that she felt that she was enough for that role. That preparation gave her a boost in her self-esteem, because she now felt that she had what it takes. She was taught how to communicate. So in case she was asked questions, again, she had to say it right. She had to have the right answers. You don't just walk up before the king and say what you want to say. There was all of this. It was all structured. And she walked in. Picture this. She's just, with her flowy gown, Probably they had put a crown on her because she needed to look like a queen. And now picture her walking gracefully, right? Not stumbling, not running, no, just the right pace. So picture her walking in. She is smelling fresh. She is smelling so beautiful. She is walking gracefully, and she is walking over there. She has been taught how to look at the king. So she's glimpsing over there and just giving him some nice glances, but not staring at him. I mean, she had been taught what to do, and she was doing it well. And when she entered there, and they had a glimpse on her as she was coming in, I mean, everybody just held their breath. It was such a moment. The beauty that she represented, the presence that she walked with in that room. I mean, you could not ignore her, even if you wanted to. The preparation worked out very, very well. And so this is when now Hadassah won the king's heart. And the king was like, what? I'm imagining his jaw dropped, and he was just looking at her and wondering, she's all mine. I'm just thinking, it's good to be creative in these things. And Esther was going through. The lady who was unnoticed, ordinary, suddenly now was before the king. She was extraordinary. She was playing the part. And the king took what they call a scepter. Some people call it scepter, but I call it scepter. And it was golden. And every time the king removed his scepter and pointed you with it, it meant that you won his favor and you could get anything you wanted. That is what happened to our girl. The preparation paid off. There was a lot of mindset shifts. There was a lot of, communication skills that were put in. There was a lot of coaching by different coaches, a lot of mentoring. All that completely paid off. Now, because just like Esther, we know our own defining moments, whatever that means for you, for me, it's different. Your defining moment is coming. Yes, you're skilled. Yes, you got the looks. Yes, you have the right papers. You know all that. But preparation will meet opportunity. That's what we are talking about. That's what we are learning from Hadassah. That the preparation she did was not in vain. It is what now got her that opportunity. It is what got her to be noticed. So you'll either shrink back or step forward and own the room. I'm talking about just entering and people go like, who is that lady? Or who is that gentleman? That energy is unmistakable. It is there. It feels like it's tangible. That is what happens when you prepare enough. Now, let's get some highlights from our story. 5 highlights from this story. And if you haven't subscribed, please, it is time to subscribe because there's a lot of content that's coming our way. A lot of content that will bring your way from powerful guests that sometimes join me. But today I'm alone, decided to give this story. And if you subscribe, you will get notified anytime we have a new episode coming up. Now, let's talk about the 5 highlights from Esther. But this time she's Queen Esther. She's not Hadassah anymore. And point 1, your energy speaks before you do. Right? Before you actually say a word, when you enter a room, your energy speaks. What does it say? Sometimes it says, I'm courageous. Sometimes the energy says, I don't feel like I fit in. You're right? That's your energy speaking for you. So what does your energy say for you? It's often said that up to 93% of communication effectiveness is rooted in non-verbal cues. It is in how you just touched your hair. It is in just the way you scratched yourself, looking uncertain. It's in the way you kept touching your rings and touching your jewelry. Those are non-verbal cues, and there's something you're saying to us without you knowing. All right? So 93% of communication effectiveness is rooted in non-verbal cues. That means people are judging you more on how you show up than what you say. When you enter in a space and people feel your confidence and they feel you have good vibes, what happens? They lean in naturally. You will see that. Please be observant next time you enter in a space or you're talking to someone, either for an interview or it's just an informal talk. Do people lean in or do people just, go as far away from you as possible? That already is a tip, all right? For non-verbals, always observe the people around you. How do they behave when I'm in the room? So before you step into that meeting or event, pause for a breath. Align your shoulders. Center your energy and step in with presence, with your head high, shoulders back, not in an arrogant way, but with confidence and like you also belong in that room. So your energy speaks before you do. Point number 2, visuals are instant impressions. Visuals are instant impressions. Esther spent a year in preparation. We started by saying she was pretty. They said she had a good figure. But that was not enough. She needed to have this impact. That was not just about her, because she needed to also rescue her community. So this impact that she needed to have was not just about her. Now, we size people up in seconds. Within 55% of first impressions come down to appearance, come down to what you're dressed in, come down to how your hair looks, come down to accessories, come down to your nails. Within 55%, those are first impressions. It is your appearance. It is in the gown that Esther wore. It was in that crown. It was in the jewelry they picked for her. It was not just random. 84% of people say appearance is the most important factor in forming that snap judgment. 84%. And no, this isn't about wearing designer brands. It could be thrifted, but ironed, dressed for your body, and you're looking good for your body. It's a good fit for your body, and it could actually work out for you. So we're not talking about luxury brands. We're not talking about expensive clothes. We're talking about the right fit for the right occasion, for the right impact that you're looking for. So ask yourself today, does my appearance reflect how I want to be remembered? And always ask my clients, does your appearance support your goals? Or are your goals supported by your appearance? Because we need to dress for where we are going. We need to dress for that space that we are looking for. We are not dressing for where we are. We are dressing for 2 steps ahead or 3 steps ahead. So whether you mean it or not, your visuals are telling a story. So that's why when I'm walking in CBD in our town, Nairobi town, and there's somebody I'll be seeing walking, towards me, and instantly I start feeling, that fear, those goosebumps, that when you hear, you feel like your hair down your neck is just, up there. And it's called fear. And when that happens, it's because I've just seen somebody come. And the way they are dressed, for me, it feels like, this one looks like a criminal. This one looks like he just wants my handbag. And instantly I want to cover my handbag or jewelry or whatever, because I judge them based on how they look. That's how it works out. Probably he's just minding his business. But I get to judge people. You get to be judged. We are not bad people. We're just humans. That's who we are. So you need to consider that. Point number 3, micro expressions and face factors. Now, when you smile, it is warm, it is inviting. People feel they feel like they're drawn towards you. And not just the smile that is so plastic, just down here, just covering your lips. I'm talking about the smile that goes up to your eyes and makes your eyes almost shrink. That's a smile I'm talking about. A smile is free, and it's an accessory that we all have, and we can all have. Okay, not talk about affording because it's free. But that is the micro expressions. People look at you, your resting face, right? Somebody once told me, do you know when you're not aware or when you're just in that chill mode, you look stressed out. I was like, what? I didn't even know that about myself. But clearly, when I'm in that, there's a default mode for everyone. When you're just chilling by yourself, what is that face? Some people say you look too serious. Some people say you look angry. People ask you, are you okay? Is everything at home okay? Why? It is because your natural resting face has something saying about you. So we need to be deliberate and very, very conscious of that. Your face tells the story before your mouth opens. In fact, judgments about trustworthiness are made in just 1/10 of a second. That is faster than we blink, right? So for Esther, she needed to really have a calm appearance. She needed to be calm and graceful. She didn't, it wasn't in that spot now to start panicking, not frowning your face and looking a bit worried. No, she needed to give that calm demeanor, that was now expected of that role as a queen, working well, walking well under pressure. So she had to do that. And here is something we can all do immediately. Let's smile, all right? Let's express that we are friendly, we are good people, we are warm, we are inviting, and that we can all do. So when you smile, it warms up your face and it warms up the room, apparently, and it also increases your energy factor, like positive energy factor, right? So that is about the face. And let's talk about point number 4, your voice. For Esther, I'm sure she was asked some questions by the king. Because they needed to know if she could talk, number 1, that is one. And number 2, she needed to be eloquent, all right? She needed to be able to articulate whatever answers she was giving very, very well. So your voice and tone seal the deal for you. So when the king extended that scepter, finally, Esther was allowed to speak, because if the king did not show you the scepter, you were not allowed to speak. Your opinions, you keep to yourself. But when that was done, then again, now you feel free to speak, sort of like relax, because you've been given permission by the king. And so according to the classic rule that we talk about, that is 738-55 rule, your words account for just 7%, all right? But your tone, it accounts for 38%. So it means how I sound is more important than what I am saying. And I'll give you an example. If somebody came and told you, I love you, and then they continue talking about other things, would you be convinced? And then they'll go on, I told you I love you. What else do you need to hear? That tone. If the same people came and said, you know what, Sylvia, I love you, with a smile, and the tone is warm, what would that would be more convincing than if just somebody came out and spilled the right words, but in the wrong way. So your tone speaks volume. That is what seals the deal for you. And sometimes we forget and we are very rushed. Imagine if Esther walked and just, walking down the, let me not say aisle, but the red carpet before the king. If she whatever reasons, she sounded rushed, or she just had a monotone, just talking in one monotone, not going high, not going low, just sing a master. And I really want to be your queen, and I'm perfect for this role. Can you imagine how that would have sounded? I'm sure she put warmth in her vocals. And when she talked about what she wanted, she said it, but not rushed, not in a monotone, not in a hurry, not panicked. She had really practiced before. I'm sure they had given her questions, the possible questions that the king would have asked. So she had practiced. And so she appeared very calm, cool, and collected. All right? So that's point number 4. Point number 5, which is our last point, but apparently I believe it is the strongest point of the 5. It is intentionality. Because intentionality creates consistency. So being intentional, what do I plan to do? What do I want to do? How do I want to show up? How do I want to be seen? Okay, so being intentional. For Esther, win wasn't a luck, because it meant that she might have lost her life. I mean, that was a serious competition. Because if you just did the wrong move, just one wrong move, that could have costed your life. So every detail, her energy, her appearance, how she walked in, how she looked around, how she twisted her body, all of it was intentional. She was not practicing. She had practiced before, so she knew what was expected of her. Intentionality. You have to be intentional on how you want to be seen, how you want to be felt, the impact you want to give. You have to be intentional about it. So research even shows that nonverbal behaviors like eye contact, smiling, open postures, and voice modulation heavily influence hiring decisions, often more than the actual words spoken. Yep, this is quite true. I know this because it has happened to me. I found myself in situations where I didn't deserve that spot, but just the way I was very intentional in how I showed up got those people picking me and telling me what they wanted from me. They had to teach me and train me on what was expected in that role. All right, so it is in those small things you are influencing decisions around you because of the way you took time on a Sunday evening. You took time to plan your wardrobe and said, you know what, this is how I'm showing up on Monday. This is a blouse I'll wear, the skirt, the shoes. This is a makeup I'll put. This is Tuesday, I'll do my statement earrings. And then I'll go nice with the suit because I know who I'm meeting on Tuesday. And Wednesday, because I have my diary mapped out, I know who I'm seeing on Thursday. So I plan it all out on Sunday. So by the time I jump in on Monday, because of being very intentional, the impact will be seen. I will be confident. I will be calm knowing that I prepared enough. Now, those are the 5 steps. And I'm just going to recap very, very fast. So let's recap those 5 ways to own those first 7 seconds. We're talking about 7 seconds, not 7 minutes, 7 seconds. Now, Esther's style, which we are borrowing from heavily. Energy speaks before the words. All right, before your words, your energy already spoke. 2, visuals create instant impressions. 3, facial cues. You have to look calm, genuine. Your expressions have to be open and warm. 4, we talked about tone matters. Your tone matters more than the words. So always remember that. And 5th, which is the final one, we talked about intentionality creates consistency. Remember, the first 7 seconds aren't just a moment. They are a message. Just like Esther, your preparation behind the scenes positions you for that defining moment. So as you prepare, remember, it looks like it has taken so long for you to prepare. Do not worry, because when your 7 seconds come, the impact will be real. It will be there. You will get that position. You will get that spot. You will get the favor that you're looking for because you are intentional about it. Now, this was Off Mute with Becky, where presence becomes power. And until next time, keep showing up with confidence, with presence, and with impact. And remember, 7 seconds shape perception. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.